Nothing smiley. I'm from Zerb. Zerb is a 13-year-old, so not exactly startup. Interaction design firm in the South Bay. We're down in Campbell. We worked with about 150 companies, including eBay, Facebook, Reuters, Yahoo, BritneySpears.com. We're sorry. So we worked on a lot of that. We actually help other companies create better websites, and we do that through our consulting services, and we also do that through our products. And one of those products is what I'm going to show you tonight. So, quick question. Who here has a website? That's a few hands. So who here has a great idea for a website? All right, got a few there. Okay. Who here has really solid, actionable data about their ideas? Nice. One hand. All right, cool. Good job. The reason there are so few hands there is because getting data is a pain in the ass. It takes tons of time. It takes a ton of money. You have to find people. It's just, ugh, just sucks. Well, that is why we created Verify. Verify is the fastest way to collect and analyze user feedback on concept testing. What concept testing means is you can actually get data around things that you haven't necessarily implemented yet. You don't have to have a live site. You don't have to have coded everything up. You can get data based on sketches. You can get data based on mock-ups. You can get data based on pictures you took of the whiteboard at your office. That's what concept testing means, and we enable that through several different facets of Verify. What I'd like to show you tonight real quick is 3 different use cases for Verify, so sort of how it works and what you can use it for, and then obviously I'll take some questions. So for the first example of this, we had Robert Scoble coming into the office, and when Robert Scoble comes into the office, you want to show some stuff about Rackspace, because that's what Robert Scoble likes to see. So what we put together is what in Verify we call a click test, and we put it together based on Rackspace's homepage. We wanted to ask people, click on where you'd go to learn more about Rackspace. We wanted to gauge web page comprehension, so see if people understand when they come to Rackspace's homepage where they need to go if they want to learn more. It's obviously something Rackspace is very interested in. So people who come to this test, and Verify tests are very quick, they're very easy to get through. When people come to this test, what they see is a screenshot of Rackspace's homepage that we actually captured with the tool, and they click, based on that question, on where they would click to go to learn more. So for our purposes, let's click on the big green button to find out more. Well, as the creators of that test, we get to see the results. And as you can see, we had quite a few results. We had 526 responses to this test, which was pretty solid. And with any sufficiently large data set, obviously you get, I'm actually by standing in the way, you get, kind of a smattering of data. But what you can actually gauge from this data, and you can turn these things on and off to get a sense of this. Turn on color here. Oh, no, I won't because I'm not really connected. Cool. Turn the color on and off. You can actually see that most people went for the big green button that we went for, and went for a large block up here, which is information about their hosting services. So this actually backed up what Rackspace wants to get out of their homepage. They want people going to the right places. So we'll take a look at another example, and this one was one we ran on Facebook, actually. So we wanted to see, this is what in Verify is called memory test. We wanted to see what people remember after they see a page for a short amount of time. You may have heard this called 5-second test. You may have heard this called any number of things that's been around for a long time, but this is one of the tests Verify supports, and what we do is we show you a screenshot for a few seconds, and then we ask you what you remember, so it's very simple. So we pull this up. Everybody knows this page. Everybody's seen this 1,000 times. But we don't show it to you for very long, and then we ask what you can remember. This helps gauge your first impression. You can take a look at, somebody's homepage or your own homepage and just see if somebody only saw this over somebody's shoulder, somebody saw this while they were passing somebody else's computer, somebody saw it and had to get pulled away. Are they going to remember what you want them to remember from your site? So let's say we remember Facebook, we remember there was a sign-up form, I think there was a map, I think there were some forms. All right, rock and roll. And we can actually see the final results. So for this case, 67 responses, pretty decent sample size. You can see everybody remembers Facebook. Facebook is memorable. Most everybody remembers sign up. Most people remember that there was a logo. A lot of people remember there was a map, which is actually pretty cool for Facebook because it means they are getting across the idea that they are global, that they are a service that applies to more than just one place or more than just your place. And we'll take a look at one more. This one actually hits quite a bit closer to home. So at Zerb, we try not to make tools that we wouldn't use. That's actually how we validate that the tools have any merit at all, is that we need them. So in this case, what we actually did was we did a Verify test about Verify. And we actually did it based on a sketch. So we had a sketch of what we thought a Verify report page should look like, and we wanted to get feedback from our team about what we thought that should be. So what we used was an annotate test. And the annotate test is a very free-form test where you can essentially add notes to a screen and describe whatever it is you want to say based on the directive we supplied. So in this case, what we asked was, what should change with this verify report page sketch? Add your notes, and we sent this to our internal team. So if I was taking this now, I might look at this and say, well, I think this should be on top. I should type it right. And this needs more Dennis Quaid. Cool.
What does that mean?
Who knows? And what in this case, what I saw, because I was running the test, was the results of the annotate test. And with an annotate test, we do a couple of things. We show you a summary, which is essentially a heat map of where the annotations fall, so you can see where most of the activity is. If I actually hover on any of these, and you won't see the Dennis Quaid comment, because I'm just previewing it right now. In fact, you won't see... No, you won't see anything, because I can't actually pull from the site right now. But what you would see is a summary based on common words, common phrases, basically what exemplifies that section of the notes. But I can also dig into the raw data, and this is going to be touchy. Oh, come on. Do it. Oh, fail. The wireless has failed me.
It's a guest.
Oh, it's guest. Oh, for the lose. All right. Well, what you would see, just picture it in your mind's eye, what you would see is the detailed results of each tester. So you can see where they added notes and specifically what they said. If I had chosen to collect it, I could also see who it was, maybe what their Twitter name was, what their email address was, if they were willing to supply that information, as well as other demographic information like location, age, whatever we want to collect basically, and people are willing to give. So that was actually super helpful for us because we could get internal feedback on Verify that I could then act on immediately, frankly. And that's Verify. It's a really quick way to create tests. Creating a test takes no more than probably 3 minutes for any given test type. There's 8 different test types. Right now we're actually planning to add quite a few more. And the tests themselves take about 15 seconds to take. They're incredibly fast and incredibly easy to take. That's Verify.
Cool.
Questions? I think you were very fast.
So, who are your test audiences? Where does it go? And how do you select? Can you select which audience is?
That's a good question, and I think the guy next to you really likes that question. He's doing this.
Yeah.
In the current release of Verify, what we do is we essentially create the test and we give you a link that you can distribute. So we actually do a couple of different things. You can take that link and you can distribute it to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever works for you. What we also do is for any public test, let me see if I still have it pulled up. For any public test, when you actually reach the end of the test, we essentially show you 3 more tests that you could take. What we've actually found is that people who move through these tests have a high likelihood of moving through more. It's something like 80% go to the next test. So the more people are running tests, the more your audience builds. You can also create private tests, though, if you want to distribute it to a specific group of people. You can create tests that are not part of this carousel and have like a tokenized URL. So you can send that to an email list of, particularly to your company, things like that. I think you had a question. Same question. All right, cool.
I was going to say, so who's your primary customer base? Is it Fortune 500s? Are they, startups, individuals? I mean,
I would be okay with Fortune 500. That would be all right. I think we can charge them more. Our primary market right now is actually, we found we have pretty good traction with other agencies like ours, actually, agencies who need to get feedback on stuff and they need to get it fairly quickly. What's actually interesting, we've actually gotten a lot of traction with internal teams for larger companies. So we actually built Verify to be really effective for startups, to be really scrappy, to be really quick, to be really cheap, frankly, so that startups can actually pay for it and use it. But we found a lot of larger companies that are actually really interested in using it because a lot of times they actually want to use it internally so that they can get feedback from within their own company. They found that to be very valuable. We don't really have one subsection of people that we kind of want to target it for. We're finding they have kind of different uses for it. But we're more than happy to provide it to any of them. So. Any other questions? Yes.
How do you get the demographics for the people that are taking it, and how can you use the demographics? Which you have?
So with any of the tests, actually, let me see if I have a test pulled up. Well, the wireless is gonna kill me again if I do this, but. On any given test, you can actually opt to collect demographics at the end of the test. It's basically the last screen of the test. We say, hey, thanks for taking this test. Here's what the person who offered this test is looking for from you if you're willing to provide it. And people can punch in. We have basically a set list of demographics we collect. We collect location regardless because they don't have to punch in anything for that. We can just get that from them. But things like sex, age, Twitter handle, email address, name if you want it. There's different use cases for it, but you can opt to choose that, to collect that at the end of the test. We find that most people are actually willing to rely on what you ask as long as you don't ask for anything too clearly egregious. So it actually works out pretty well, and then you can actually export that data. So if you want to do your own analysis of the data through some sort of spreadsheet.
Have you used the data like with your analysis? Like what benefit has you used it for?
Yep, we actually used it. We used it just the other day. We did we published a blog post, which was actually comparing how long it takes to find a particular category on Craigslist compared to eBay classifieds. And we actually used it. We used the demographics information in a couple of different ways. We did a more specific analysis so that we could get the average and mean times that it took to find the motorcycles category. You can check this out. It's on zero.com/blog if you're interested. Turns out that eBay classifieds is actually much faster to find categories, which was interesting. But we could get really specific information, so we could compare average times using the data that way. We also used it to pull all of the Twitter handles of the people who supplied them, so we could pick one out to win, because we set it up that one person who took the test would win lunch with my boss. So maybe not a prize, and I think he's watching me. So so maybe not a great prize, but it was a prize. So we used it for that as well.
Maybe one more.
Is this something I'd serve from my website, or you offer it as a SaaS?
It's a SaaS service. We offer it ourselves. The tester hosted by us. So all of the stuff that you upload and all the test materials are hosted by us. We actually secure all of that as well. So if you want to use this to test anything vaguely confidential or whatever, we actually host everything on S3, and we have a security layer between those. Currently, whatever you can get away with. Sorry, the question was how much space do you get?
No, expensive.
Oh, expensive. Sorry. The price is actually as much as we can get away with. That'd be the right answer. The price right now is actually, it starts at $9 a month, and that's as many tests as you want to run of any of the different test types that we offer. If you want to collect demographic information as well as some more of the sort of advanced features I didn't touch on, it's $20 a month.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.